Well, hello everyone, and welcome to today's exciting online training session. And it's all about what's better, position golf or alignment golf for your golf swing. But before we get into the session, first you've just got to understand what a position is and what an alignment is. Pete, so welcome. Beautiful sunny day there in Melbourne.
It is. So it's nice to have the sunshine, and it's good to be back home in Melbourne. But positional golf, what's the difference between positions and alignments? Well, in golf, if you're looking at positions, you're looking at the address position would be how you set up to the ball. Throughout the swing, you've got the club swinging through certain positions that you could take as a reference point. The word alignment has a little more definition to it. That it's the relationship of the different components that you make up the golf mechanics and the golf swing. So alignments are more in reference to how you position your hands on the club, how the arms move in relation to the body. So alignments, it's the relationship, and throughout the swing, you want to maintain these alignments if you're going to play good golf. Positions are reference points. Alignments are more sustainable when you want to play good golf.
Yeah, so if we just delve into exactly what is position golf and how is it applied to hit golf shots. I know many golf coaches, and there's a lot of learning about trying to get into certain places within the golf swing to hit good shots. And basically it focuses on different checkpoints within a golf swing as points of reference of learning. The emphasis is on, if you achieve this position, you'll hit good golf shots, okay? Which can be good and bad, but it's actually quite difficult to play with if you think of more than one position on the golf course. And it can be a distraction for the mind if you make it too complicated. Just share with us about positions, Pete.
Well, yes, when you're actually playing and swinging the club and the tension level, if you just get a little bit too tight or a little bit too relaxed, those positions tend to get variable. It's very hard to control the positions throughout the swing. And so if you're trying to get your club parallel to the ground, parallel to the target line, and you're thinking about that, then your attention's stuck over here and you're less likely to be focused on hitting the golf ball. And of course, when the tension comes in, much more timing is required, and you get distracted. So positions, while they're nice to go in slow motion, the reality is when trying to hit a golf ball, they're very difficult to maintain.
Yeah, I mean, you could have one position or one thing that helps you hit a good shot, couldn't you, Pete?
You could, yes, exactly. That in the golf swing, if I was to take the address position, that's something that's pretty basic, and you could play good golf really focusing on getting the right address position. Once the club's in motion, it's much more difficult to put your attention on something in the swing while you're still hitting the golf ball, and that's where it takes away from the attention on making that precise firing the club and hitting the golf ball. So positions are a little more distracting.
Yeah, so let's look at alignment golf and what is alignment golf and how do we apply this to the golf swing. If we look at alignments, there are 9 major key alignments in the golf swing, and 6 of them are in the setup and 3 of them are during the swing or within the swing. Alignment golf basically requires less thinking, as it helps the body to get set up in a position where you can hit great golf shots. So Pete, just share with us alignment golf, and maybe you can just share with us a couple of alignments in the setup and say one of the alignments in the swing.
Okay, well, Chris, first of all, it's very important to put your hands on the club correctly. And one of the major alignments in the golf swing is the actual wrist alignment, its relationship to the club shaft. And if it's on top, then it's much easier to have a secure grip, and you get more control of the club shaft throughout the swing. So that wrist alignment's really important for controlling the club shaft. It just so happens the hinge pin through that same wrist area, if it lines up with the leading edge of the club face, you've got control of hitting the ball straight away. So that relationship's pretty important. The alignment of your body to the ball's target is very valuable. So if you want to hit the ball straight, it's much better to have a parallel stance for an orthodox golf swing. So they would be positions and also alignments that you can set up at address. Now, throughout the swing, what's really important is that the arms stay more in front of the body from start to finish. You don't want your arms coming across your body, although it looks like they do. When you're swinging with good alignments, the hands and arms and clubs stay more in front of the body throughout the swing. So knowing how to build that alignment is very important. And basically, if you want to hit good golf shots, it's important to have the alignment when you're in the swing that the club head is traveling on what we call the right downswing path. We call it the A to B alignment. And that has the club hitting the ball more straight at the target. Just like that. When the club's traveling on that correct downswing, what we call the direction of hit alignment. And so these alignments, you can train them in, and once they're set up and in place, they're much more reliable, and you can learn to do this at different pressure levels.
Yeah, exactly. Different pressure levels. I know that when you get into good alignments, it's like effortless. When you're a little out of alignment, the grip, the takeaway, whatever it is, golf becomes more difficult. So let's have a look at why alignment golf wins over positional golf. Let's have a look at some points here. So it's easier to get set up and freely hit the ball than set up and think too much whilst over the ball. Alignments require less manipulation. So once they're set, then they don't require manipulation like positions. Positions require timing, where alignments not so much. Timing is a big word. People think, oh, they're out of timing, but it could just be that their alignments are not quite set up properly. Alignments produce better contact on the golf ball, and where to also for a golfer from here after this. So Pete, just share with us some of your thoughts on those points.
Right. Well, basically, if you have a good address routine, then you set up a lot of these alignments. They become automatic. You get the grip, so the alignment of the grip to the club shaft and the club face. You get the right alignment of your body to the ball's target, and the right posture and the right distance to the ball. These are set up through focusing on the alignments. Now, when you're swinging, when you maintain the hands and arms in front of the body, then you're going to have much easier bringing the club back to square through the impact. There's no need to time the arms. If I swing back and the arms get across my body here and they're out of alignment and I turn, now I not only have to turn, I have to bring the arms back. Whereas if the alignment of the arm stays more in front of the body and you fire A to B, then everything stays together and your body's in the right position, your arms are in the right position more easily through the impact zone. So that alignment is pretty important, that the arms don't come across your body but stay more in front. And through correct educated hand action, that's able to be done on a regular, consistent basis. The other thing is when you've got the right alignments, basically you got the same feeling throughout the swing. It's much easier to repeat the feel of the swing. It's much easier to be, because you're doing it consistently, it's easier to be relaxed. And so golf becomes, good golf's easy. And when you've got your alignments in. Whereas in positions, if you tighten up a little bit or you get a little bit out, you get a little faster, a little out different tempo, the arms and the club get easily out of position. And that's very hard to focus on positions and play consistent golf.
Yeah, like the ideal scenario, Pete, is for a golfer just to get set up, go through their routine, and then just hit the ball and see the ball go pretty straight, isn't it?
Exactly. So the way I'm setting up here, I'm setting up alignments in the way I take my grip and my stance, and then I'm in a position to swing and hit the ball. So when I have my alignments right, and for instance, my knees, I don't want my knee, there's the best way to move the knees so that your arms and hands can stay in front of your body. So when you understand these three major alignments within the swing, then you can bring the club on the right path on a consistent basis. So,
yeah, so if a golfer wanted to improve, going forward from here, what would you tell to the golfer? How should they improve in this format of alignment golf is better than positional golf?
Well, we have a program called Breaking 80, and that's where we go through to build your consistency. You definitely have to have the right setup alignments, and you have to know how to bring the club head on the right path on the downswing, which is a vital alignment to hit the ball and to hit it where you want it to go. So the Breaking 80 program, we take you through consistency first, through getting the setups and getting these alignments right. Then it leads into a more confident short game. And then once you've got those in place, then effortless power comes into view. It's a lot easier to hit the ball with good solid compression and good distance when your alignments are in. And so this step-by-step process of the Breaking 80 program, I would really like to invite everyone to come in and join us and go through this program and become a much more consistent golfer, and definitely be able to break 80, or if you get on the path, you'll be down even lower, going into the 70s. And you never know, you'll be a scratch golfer if you apply these alignments on a regular basis, consistent basis.
Yeah, and it's really 80 and beyond, isn't it, Pete? I mean, you use the same principles even when you're shooting in the 60s.
Exactly. And breaking 100 the same. So someone starting out, you still have the same alignments all the way through. You don't have to change when you get to a lower handicap. It's good golf. It's the one golf swing from beginner to playing on the PGA Tour.
Exactly. So thanks very much, Pete, for your time today. And thanks, everyone, for listening. And we look forward to seeing you in the next session, either next week or come join us on the Breaking 80 program. And the first step is becoming a consistent golfer. And that's what we focus on first. So thanks, everyone. Look forward to seeing you.
And just remember, Chris, alignment golf smothers positional golf.
Yeah, exactly. So when you get that golf club in a right alignment, it's allowed to swing, and it definitely smothers positional golf. All right, good on you, Pete. Thanks, everyone, and look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.
Thanks, Chris.